What's up? It sounds stupid, but we all die. Yet I don't think a lot of people really think about this, or at least consider it when deciding how to live their lives. It sounds so quaint to say, like everybody dies, and more specifically, you die. Your experience of what you call reality ends one day. And when you think about how you should go about making decisions, thinking about things, the effect that things have on you, the emphasis that you place on things, it almost all fades away when you think about this fact that one day this ends in a real way. And sometimes it just makes me think, and this is like young, naive, just like you really should, if you think about that everything ends one day, that you die, and everyone you love dies. And it sounds sad, but it's just real, is what it is. You die one day, everyone you love dies one day, everyone you know will be dead one day or is already dead. And it sounds so messed up to say, but it's true. So then you think about yourself, and you think about the decisions that you make and how you choose to go about your life. And again, it's naive to say, but you really should just try to do everything. Like, you should try to go for it all, whatever that means to you. The cost, like, what is the most negative that can come from that? What is the true negative in the face of death? If you remember that, like, one day this ends, what's the worst that can happen? You don't die. Or maybe you do, and like, it's gonna end anyways. And I don't mean to say that in like a morbid way, if you die doing something crazy. But if you go for something, then like the only worst thing that can happen is like you fail psychologically. You make a fool of yourself. You just get made fun of, or something. Other than that, you're still alive. And like you're going for what you want to get out of this life. Say like climbing Everest or something. Like, that's a big accomplishment. Not many, very small percentage of people will ever do that. And you say like you want to do that, and you're like, well, man, I probably got to dedicate like 10 years of my life to like, from like a beginner to doing it, probably like 10 years. If you really want to do it well, I would say 10 years of consistent training. 10 years of your life. If you're live to 100, that's a tenth of your life. That's a decent chunk of your life that you have to commit to this idea. And you think like, oh, maybe I won't do that. And then you think like, well, I die one day. So like, why the fuck not? If that's something you want to do, why not just try to do that? What's the worst that happens? You don't do it. What's the best that happens? You do it. The worst that happens, I guess, is that you die trying to do it. Which, is sad. It's a tragedy. But again, like, you die anyways. And maybe that's really morbid. But let's not take Everest. Like, take any other example of like, you want to start your own business. You really just want to make a change in your life. Like, as you become an adult, you might be set on a certain path. And then you start to realize, like, this isn't a path that I actually want to be on. And then the path that you're on isn't bad. So it's not hard enough that you feel the need to change. But psychologically, it's not exactly what you want to do. So you'd be giving up a lot, and you don't know what you'd be getting. And I already talked about that. But if you think about the fact that, like, one, your time's actually pretty limited. Two, it ends. What the hell is the worst thing that can happen if you make a change? Like, you fail or it sucks, like, you're going to figure it out to some extent. And then any failure that happens is just psychological. And most often, it's just based on the ego. Because it's just your introspection and taking in the perception of others in your own mind and projecting what other people might think about you. And really, they don't give a shit. They're focused on their own shit too. They got their own life they're living. And they might see you and say something about it, and that's the extent that they're going to think about it, and they're going to go on with their lives. But the thing is, if you don't do anything, you're going to be stuck on a path that you don't even want to be on. And I think just remembering that you die, like remembering your mortality, is so crucial. Because it just puts everything into perspective. Like it puts costs into perspective. Like, oh, what's the cost of going for something? What's the cost of doing something? Like, if you just remember, like, one day this ends. So there is no real cost. It's just psychological. That's it. Like, all the costs are psychological. You might be giving something up in return for trying to get something else. Often you don't even know what you're getting, but you're giving something up. Okay. You're making a fool of yourself socially. Okay. All of that shit's psychological. It's all in your head. The only thing that's real is that you die. Everything else is psychological. Pain, even, to a certain extent, is psychological. I mean, shit. I'm sure somebody who, like, lost a limb would beg to differ. I don't know what to say on that one. You know, I'm just rolling with this. But I think you get the point. And if you want to see the point, you'll see it. And if you want to argue it, you'll argue it. But I think there's a point here that remembering that you die puts everything into perspective. And a lot of the stuff that I say, you know, it's just having the courage to do the things that you want to do with your life. And I'm in the process of doing that. I don't have some, like, glamorous shit to show you. I'm just a man who's done things, that has learned things that I want to just put out there. Because I imagine my younger self listening to this. One, being like, wow, I can't believe I did that. And two, wanting to learn from me. So I put this out there. Not out of some ego trip, but because I want to put back into the cosmic internet or universe or whatever that I took so much from and I've taken so much from learning. I think you just gotta remember, like, it ends. One day this is over. So, really, what's the worst that can happen from trying to make a change? From trying to do something you want to do? Like, if that's the essential point. One day this ends. And it's naive to say, but who cares? So you should really just try to go for it all. You should really just try to do what you want to do with your life. All of it. Why not? It's over one day. Fucking go for it. What's the worst that happens? Just saying. Remember you die. It'll probably help you live more.